Okay. All right, welcome to episode 1 of Youper Yarny. I'm Erica, and let's talk about fiber. First, thanks so much for joining me. I'm super excited. I have received a really great amount of support and encouragement, and that's awesome. So thank you so much. I already have subscribers, and I don't have a post yet. So you guys rock. All right, so what's what? I guess we could talk about whips. Oh, before I talk about whips, if you hear anything in the background, it's too loud. Sorry. My husband is on a field that's right next to us, and he is raking the hay. So we're gonna bale hay soon. So hopefully that's not too loud. Maybe I can edit it out if it is. Anyway, I think one more thing I should probably say. I'm just gonna try to post once a week. I was gonna do once a month, but we live out in the country and don't have excellent internet service. It works, but 45-minute to an hour-long podcasts are a little bit much for our internet to handle on an upload. So I'm thinking that once a week, maybe a little shorter podcasts, but once a week I can do that, and I'll just give you guys more content and it'll be fun. So I was going to start with whips, but let's start with finished objects. So let me dig. I have a hat. Oh, sorry. I do not know what yarn this is because it was gifted. This was actually my mom's yarn. She wanted to try her hand at knitting. She's super crafty, but knitting just isn't her thing. And so that's cool. So she gave me this yarn and I made a Tilda hat. It's a free pattern. I think it's by Life is Cozy. But if you look up Tilda hat, you'll find it. Super great cable hat. This is a very woolly wool, which I like. I can try it on. Don't mind my hair. So it's really comfy. I like it a lot. It fits great. I used the the German twisted cast on. That is my go-to cast on for hats. I know there's a lot of different variations. I love the tubular for some things, but for hats, I really like the German twisted cast on just because it has a good amount of tension without being too tight, and it always goes back. It does not stay flared. So highly recommend that cast on if you've not tried it. Kind of seems finicky the first time you do it, but it totally gets easier. Totally worth it. So that is the Tilda hat. Yay. All right, so I also knit, I'll show you the one that isn't flipped inside out. So these are mittens, and they are from a book that I'll show you in 1 second. This is just some random yarn that I had in my stash, which is not excessively large. I don't tend to hoard yarn, which is weird because I love it. Maybe because I live on a farm, and so money has to go to that kind of thing before it goes to projects that are fun. And so I tend to buy for a project instead of just buying and hoarding. It's just my lifestyle. So in the future, I'll try to keep notes of what I've used for yarn, but I don't know what this is. Anyway, so it's just a mitten. It's got ptarmigans on it and hearts, and the back side is just this regular pattern, but I love that the thumb is different depending on where it's at, right? I like that. And then I lined it with just very squishy yarn I found at, like, I think Walmart or something. I don't know. No, Hobby Lobby. And it's really squishy and soft. I don't know what it's called. I think it's actually polyester yarn. if that sounds right, but crazy comfortable. And then I just started the lining after the cuff on the inside, because that way when you fold it over, if you ever need to fold your mitts over, you don't have 4 layers. So that was the thought process behind that. And the book it comes from is Big Book of Knitted Mittens. If you like mittens, or you want to try mittens with color work and sort of a Scandinavian feel, I really recommend this book. It's great. The lady who wrote it lives in Norway, which is way cool. But the patterns aren't like just Scandinavian as far as your typical Scandinavian design, because that is a giraffe. Way cool, right? I think those are next. Anywho, really recommend that book. So I just finished, this is not blocked yet, I mean just finished, this little 6 to 12 month old Anya dress. And the lace doesn't show up super well just because it's not blocked yet, but it is very cute. It's got lace at the top and bottom, a little bit of eyelet here in the center, which I plan on running a ribbon through. Sorry you guys, my nose, I have allergies so bear with me. Anyways, so the yarn goes, or the ribbon goes through the eyelet, and then I just need to find a cute little button next time I go to town for the back of the dress. But this is the Anya dress. Isn't it cute? And I think Susie Sparkles is the designer on this. So very cute pattern. The yarn I used is, I have the ball band for this. You know what I'll do? I'll put it at the bottom of the screen because I'm outside and I don't want to go get the ball band. So I'll just put it at the bottom of the screen and you'll have it. Okay. So this is the Guthrie, and I did a very thick version because this is made out of worsted, but I have a pretty loose gauge. So for me, if I am not careful with my swatching or don't go down a couple of like 1 to 2 needle sizes, everything's too big on me. So I just followed the pattern but used a thicker yarn because I wanted something really cozy and warm. And it works out fine, and this fits me good. It needs to be washed and blocked again because it's been packed up, but I like it. And I used yarn from Hobby Lobby or Walmart. I'm not positive, but I love it a lot. I did make some changes. Well, not changes. I added short rows to the back of the neck and hated it, and so I pulled it back out because I apparently don't have a long enough neck, or I don't know. I'm assuming my neck's not long enough. But anyway, it didn't fit me right. I feel like I was being strangled, so I just did it so that it's the same all the way around, front and back, and it fits me good. So there's that. And I think I did extend the cuffs a little bit just because I like longer cuffs. So that's it for my finished objects. I have a few whips to show you. So I'm working on the Caradon, I always say that wrong, the Caradon Hill Jumper. I do have the pattern. I think this is a free pattern as well. It's by Blacker Yarns. Hopefully the lighting is working well on that for you. It's a beautiful pattern, but it is an intense pattern. This is not a quick knit. So it is cables, and more cables, and that goes for both sides. It's got a wider neckline, and it has like that rolled hem at the top. So I'm really actually very close to being done, but my brain hurt. So it had to go in timeout for just a little bit. But I will definitely have this done for fall. Hopefully very soon, but you never know. And then the other one I wanted to show you is the Valdres, and this is also a free pattern by Drops Design. It's an excellent pattern. I have a few things I'll talk to you about the instructions, but as far as the body goes, it's knit from the bottom up. It's sort of an oversized shape, which is great for layering and just being cozy. So you can see that it's got, maybe you can't see, I don't know, maybe you can see. So you've got your panels of color work, and then these panels here are textured with some diagonals here, and then this is sort of like a chevron, but it's done in knits and purls. It's very neat. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. And then it's just, I've got it on hold yarn, just because I didn't want to use my chow goo. They're not the needles, the cord. I don't know if there's another word for that. And then I just finished both sleeves. So they look like this. I have another one, but they're the exact same. I did lengthen them, and that is done in this section here, just because I have monkey arms. So yeah, it's the same as the sweater. So, you know, you've got your texture, color work, texture, right? But these sleeves, the way the pattern is written is crazy confusing. I did it my own way, following the pattern, but having to adjust because I didn't totally understand what they were telling me to do, so I just did what made sense. So, for example, and this is a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away that's anybody's rights, copyrights or whatever. So it tells you that your increased stitches are built into the pattern as you go, right? And that you're increasing every 2 centimeters until you hit a specific number, and that number is based on your size. So here's an example. The chart, however, is literally, you don't need my sticky, straight up and down, right? So there's no increasing built into this. What they tell you to do is increase out to either side, right? So either side of this chart, every 2 centimeters, and that it's built in and it'll work out. But they don't really tell you how you're supposed to do that. And if you've never done increases in color work before, your mind is blown and you're like, what? So it took me a minute to be like, I don't understand. So what I did was, let's say I increased, what's an easy one for you to see? Okay. Let's say I increased on the first row, right? Just pretend I'm increasing on this very first row. So when you got to the end here, you'd start over, right? But now you're going to be one more stitch. So I basically said, well, if my last one is a white box and I'm increasing one, that means the new one I'm making has to be this color. And then when I went around the circle, I did the opposite thing. So I don't even know if that made sense to you. Basically, at the beginning, when I increased, I added the last color. And at the end, when I increased, I added the first color. And then when I was increasing the next time, I'm now 2 more outside of the chart. So the very first stitch, the very first 2 stitches now that are increased stitches are the same as the last 2 of the chart. And the last 2 stitches that are now increased stitches are going to match the first 2 of the chart. And what that does is you're in your increasing section, it looks like the pattern, which is, it's actually probably easier to see on my sleeve. The pattern, which is this sort of diamondy heart, whatever, this pattern here, looks like it blooms out from the center. So let's see if I can sort of give you an example of that. It's not perfect, it just works. That's all I can tell you. It's not something you're gonna notice. These have not been blocked, obviously, because I'm working on it. So here is my round as it sat on my needles, right? And then this end here is where you've done your increases. So if I had kept going, you would see more of it, but it's not a very big section. And it's on your underarm, so whatever. But basically, so it sort of unfolds out or unfold out as you increase. So that's what I did, and I did the exact same thing in the texture section. So if my first stitch was a purl, and you do purl and 6 knits and 3 purls and a knit at the end, and I needed to increase, I would go to the end of the pattern and I would add whatever that stitch was. It ends up working out, I promise. So the other thing I noticed was that when you get to the very end of your sleeve, you're done, you're at the basically the armhole, right? Or the shoulder area. It tells you to cast off 4 stitches at the end of your round, or I'm sorry, at the beginning of your round, and 3 stitches at the end of your round. If anyone knows how to cast off at the end of a circle round, right? I would love to hear about it, because as far as I know, there's no way to do that. That does not mean there's not a way to do that. I just have no idea what it is. And I couldn't find anyone who knew or had ever heard of that. So basically what you're doing is you're creating a flat space, and then you'll sew them up like any other sweater at the end. So what I did was I cast off the 4 stitches at the beginning, knit around my sleeve. So I cast off these 4 stitches, I knit all the way around my sleeve, and then all the way to the end. Forget about the 3 cast offs at the end, just all the way to the end. Then I turned my work and I worked in as a purl. I purled all the way back, but I casted off those 3 stitches at the beginning of my purl round. And what that does is it makes sure that they're both knits on the outside. You get the correct 7 stitches casted off. It adds a row to your sleeve, but really what's 1 row gonna do? Nothing. And it works out, because any other way you do it, you end up with a stitch right here, and that is not gonna work. So that was my solution. If that helps anybody, that's great. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. So I hope that helps anyone who's ever tried this pattern, or if you really like it and you want to try it, try it. It works. It's just written oddly, and you kind of have to work your way through it. But I did already, so I can totally answer your questions. Hopefully. All right. So that's it for whips. I have 2 big sweaters that are so close to being done that those will be finished objects soon, and I have some plans. So I bought, okay, so first of all, I bought yarn from Hobby Lobby. This is, they're both Patent Croy sock yarn. This one is turquoise jacquard, and this one's called muslin. Can you see them? Okay, sorry, being weird. So anyway, I'm not a huge sock knitter, and not because I don't like socks. I've just never done it. I love looking at people's socks. I'm always like, oh, I want to do that. And then I pick a sweater up or a hat or mitts. I love mittens. So I don't know. I just need to do it. I don't know why I don't. And they don't take that long. And I knit 2 at a time when I do sleeves, so I could probably knit 2 at a time on socks. So that's the plan. I'm going to knit me some socks. I don't know if I'm going to, I kind of want to do a different toe and heel and possibly cuff. I'll see how these knit up. I definitely want to do toe up so I can try them on as I go. And then I guess I would just get to the end and decide if I want to add this to the cuff or not. So my question is, what is your favorite toe for a toe up sock? I don't know, because I've never knit them. Now, when I've seen people knit them or wear them or whatever, I really do like the look. I think I like the look of a nice rounded toe. But what I don't know is, does that just happen when you put them on and they kind of round out, or not? So yeah, I would love to know your favorite toe and why, because I'm not casting on until I can figure out what toe I need to use, or if you have a pattern that you might recommend for something that's, I'm assuming stripy. Is there a picture? No, these don't have pictures. I'm assuming it's going to be stripy. It's my guess. So yeah, I would love to hear what y'all think. Y'all, oh my gosh, and I live in Michigan. I lived in South Carolina for a little while too, so there might be a mix of weird phrases between Yooper talk and South Carolina talk. Goodness. All right. This is probably going kind of long, and I have to upload this, so I'm not going to go too much more, but I do want to show you something. I like to sew, and I want a pretty little skirt to wear in the summer. Funny story, this was supposed to be, and I'm talking about this one right here. This was supposed to be a 4th of July skirt. It never was, and not because I wasn't ready. Well, yeah, okay. So I bought this fabric well in enough time. So the bottom hem is this really pretty lace, and then it goes up into just, it's blue and white stripes, right? And it's kind of a really lightweight cotton chambray kind of feel, so I would line it until just, you know, roughly here so that it doesn't show through the lace. So I cut out all the pattern pieces. I've transferred all the markings. I am ready. I am so ready for this pattern. I pull out my sewing machine. Now, mind you, we've recently bought this farm, so we're not completely out of boxes yet. So I pull out my sewing machine. I take the cloth, the little baggy thing that you put over it to keep the dust out and whatever, and there's no cord. You would think that I would put the cord in the baggie with the sewing machine, but I didn't. So it's in a box. I have no idea which box, because I can't believe I did that at all. So there's no sewing happening at the moment. So that's awesome. Oh, you just gotta laugh. All right, so good thing I have yarn. Okay, so you may have noticed that I have a Wonder Woman shirt on. I do love, oh, and I have dog hair all over me. We have dogs. So I love Wonder Woman. I love the movie. She's awesome. But my husband calls me Wonder Woman, and it's not why you think. So I have a tendency to be scattered, and like, I'm really organized with certain things, but I tend to try to do a ton of things at once. And so sometimes I forget where I set stuff. And so I'm always wondering, where's my coffee cup? Where did I set my needles down? I swear I just had that in my hand. Where did I put it? I'm always wondering where things are. So he calls me Wonder Woman. I think it's funny. All right. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to keep these relatively short. I do have other things that I can show you guys, but we'll save some of that for the next podcast. Sorry, I'm watching a caterpillar. Maybe you'd like to see. Hold on, let's show you, huh? Look at this guy. Oh, look, he's looking at you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. All right, sorry. This is not the nature channel. Was it in the right spot? Are you seeing him? Gosh, I hope so. Oh my gosh, look at him reach out. That's kind of creepy. All right, anyway, not the nature channel. Sorry, I get excited. Squirrel moment, right? Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna post once a week. That is the goal. They'll be short-ish. I mean, maybe I'm hoping under 30 minutes, just because I'm hoping my signal can handle it, but I can go into town if I need to, just to get it uploaded. I'll throw in some stuff randomly about farming if there's just something cool going on. Maybe I'll throw in some pictures. I don't know, we'll just have fun with it. I want it to be interactive, so I totally want to hear from you guys. If you have ideas, if you have questions. I'm not an expert knitter. I just really like to knit. I knit a lot. I love cables and color work. Specifically, cables and color work tend to be my go-to, but I really want to increase my what is the word, like staple items. So things that maybe aren't so complicated that can kind of go with different things. I'm interested in trying to get myself to do some of that. I like to generally have a really complicated project and a less complicated project, even if it's something like maybe a pair of socks will be my less complicated project. Just because I get bored really easy, so I like to switch things up. What else? I think that's it. So that was episode 1. A lot of fun. I should probably put a shout out. Is that a thing? Okay. To Wolf and, oh my gosh, I was just on it. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. It's a brand new Facebook thing. So this lady, I think her name is Stephanie. She does podcasting also, so check her out. She seems like a really nice person. I just found her, which is amazing. I don't know where I've been, under a rock, on a farm maybe. Who knows? But I just found her, and so she's recent to me, but I don't think she's recent to YouTube, so maybe not recent to you guys. And through her, I found a Facebook group that she just started for knitters, right? And I think fiber enthusiasts, really. And so I joined, and you guys have been amazingly supportive, and so I think y'all need a shout out. And I'm gonna put her podcast and Facebook page on the screen, because you guys, if you aren't there already, should totally go. It was a really great experience. Awesome, kind people, which is the goal. Everybody should be nice, because ain't nobody got time for the mean stuff. All right, so that's it. Episode 1 is done. I'm gonna quit yammering, and probably should go help my husband. Okay, I will talk to you guys in a week. All right, bye.